Hello, Wednesday Night Poetry. My name is Kimberly Ann Priest, and I'm coming to you from Oklahoma. Previously on Wednesday Night Poetry, I've been in Wisconsin and Maine, usually hiking on a trail. Not hiking today, just reading some poetry to you from my new book, Parrot Flower. This just came out from Glass Poetry Press in January, and I love it. Look at that gorgeous cover art by an artist in Maine called her name is Erica Melhouse. Absolutely gorgeous. Totally love this book. I'm going to read some poetry from this today because the theme is memory, and I write about sexual assault and trauma, and this book is a lot about how memories from the past inform our present and affect our relationships, which I am completely aware of, not a novice to that. So I want to read to you from this, a few selections. It is a long poem, broke up into stanzas, and so I'm just going to kind of jump into the middle. And if you really want to know what the whole book is about, you got to buy a copy. $10, just send me a message. You can go to KimberlyAnnPriest.com and message me, or you can message me on Facebook. I would be so happy to send you this book. So I'm going to read to you from the back of the book so that you have some context for the selection that I'm going to read. Back of the book. Here's what it's about. In Parrot Flower, a man and a woman, both survivors of childhood sexual assault, turn to one another and a number of synthetic sources to cope with the trauma that haunts them. Drawing from letters written between Charles Darwin and Joseph Dalton Hooker, the compositions of John Cage, and the story of Brent Brentz, a serial rapist in Denver during the 90s, Parrot Flower explores the process of survival in a series of untitled lyrics. Here, a couple reveals the artifice of avoiding against the authenticity of exploring dark emotions as they are named, dismissed, and reflected in the other. All right, here we go. In a second, it can represent something altogether nothing. All the same, anything sounding refreshed. Open this envelope and read the inscription underneath the flap. Yes, that's what you imagined it would say, and that's why it says this. There are metaphysical spaces filled with all that we believe. Loop your finger into string. Pull balloons out of mere sound. John Cage wrote, "There is no such thing as an empty space or an empty time." 2 p.m. brims with metamorphosis. Onion sauteing on the stove in olive oil and salt. There is always something to see, he continues, something to hear. In fact, try as we may to make a silence, we cannot. But for certain engineering purposes, it is desirable to have as silent a situation as possible. On bluelight.org, a woman tells another woman not to shoot her first opiates because the rush is not worth the social stigma. Prison lights at Mabel Bassett flicker, a storm approaching. In her tiny apartment, she lets a man's hand roam her body, though man is relative in this case, something to keep them both occupied, drugs being more costly than sex, unless you find one because of the other and need nothing else to survive. People do, you know, survive, mostly women. In Oklahoma, it seems, twice as much. If she had her camera, she would photograph the window, outside acorns, ruminate dirt, triple piercings along the dark lobe of an old oak root. Mother, she wishes to say, I have discovered razor scars stitching the white flesh of my inner thigh. When? How? Barren branches twist in the breeze, divining prisms in the sun. Her t-shirt on the bathroom floor wearing a rainbow white smile. Piles of skinny canvas shoes at the front door, her favorite to slip on before going to the mailbox. Mondays, she never takes them off. In a time lapse, this will appear strange and foolish, but in retrospect, it was the easiest thing to do. Succulents burst into laughter on the windowsill, their clown noses inhaling each face. Sometimes she says his name, sometimes not. Mostly she says his name. Mostly the couch doesn't look perpendicular, half-zipped jeans and glasses. A quick note to the postman. I hope you're enjoying the weather today. Memories can be very haunting. And I imagine a lot of us in this COVID year have had a lot of memories haunt us. I hope that you're able to work through that, and that 2020, things are going to start looking up. See you later.